Hello everybody and welcome to this new amazing allowance video. Today we'll be ranking hard demons, insane demons, and extreme demons that I've completed over the past year or two, with one of them being 9 circles and probably the first one since the difficulties have changed over the past 2 years. So let's get into it. With Windy Landscape, which I think is a pretty great level in terms of when I played on 144 because it was just really enjoyable. I like Woogie gameplay, which is why I'm doing retention currently. But on 60 was a different story. I was just really disliking the level, but hey, things change, you know? So I'm putting it somewhere in the high A's because it's great. Now, Poltergeist, I really don't like it, but it's not as bad as something like Rupture, but hey, I mean, it has somewhat okay gameplay for a 9 circles level, so I'll put it somewhere in like high C's just because it's alright. Kappa boss fight, of course, is the Jazer level and it's gonna be amazing. And this one didn't let me down in terms of gameplay because the boss fight is just amazing. It's a high A. Crazy 2. It's a good Dav GT level, better than Crazy. And I think it's really awesome for what it is. Pretty enjoyable gameplay, and I'm really excited to see the third installment of the series. Putting it in somewhat like lower A for now. Stalemate. It's a really great classic. A lot of people dislike the level, but I really don't know the reason. But once I'm actually better at the game, I'll try to do Stalemate Redux and see how good it is. For now, I'm putting Stalemate at B tier. It's not as good as Windy or Crazy, but it's better than Poltergeist. Psychosis. I think it's more of a hard demon than an insane demon, but it's a good beginner's insane demon, to be honest. So I'd rather let people beat it as an insane. And in terms of gameplay, this is alright for a Heinz level, not that bad. So I'd say somewhere in like high B as well. Firewall is the best Heinz level by definition for me, at least. It just feels like Heinz. It's not something like Pixel Thingy or Psychosis that it just doesn't feel like they don't feel like Heinz levels. But this one feels special in some reason. So I'm putting it at S for now. Magma Bound is also really great. It's something that a lot of people haven't experienced and they should. I did this as my first insane and I don't regret it, and it only took me 1.2k and a fluke from 72, and I was really proud of that back in last year of August. So I'm placing it at an S. Not the best level, but a really great level nonetheless. Layak. Actually a great level for once. So it's pretty hard. There's this one guy who says that it's actually a hard demon and should be re-rated left. And I disagree with him, but what can I do? It's his opinion, and it's good that he has one. So overall, I think it's an okay level. I'll put it at A for now. Rupture. A lot of people on the channel know that I genuinely hate, and I do mean hate as in despised level. It's so bad, it's horrible. It's like nothing could be worse than this. It feels unoriginal. The gameplay is shit. There are so many skips that Jekko should have just remade the level. But hey, they didn't. So, El Dorado. This one's alright. I tried doing it back in late 2020, but it didn't work out because I wasn't that good at the game, but it's okay. Not that good. I put it at like low B. Now, Spectral Temptation. Really great level. One of the best insane demons that's out there. Even for early 2.0, you'd say that the deco is bad, but I could somewhat agree with you, but not with the gameplay. The gameplay is really unique and it's synced and it's everything that you'd want in an insane demon. and it's not as hard as you think. It's a mid insane at max. So I'm putting it somewhere in the mid S, yeah. Interstellar Infant has a different story. I beat it on 120 and it was pretty great apart from the first drop, which was genuinely horrible because of the straight flight there, which was very hard to do on 120 bypass. And overall, it was really great. Apart from that, it has amazing deco, and I don't know how anyone could make this good of a level. So I put it in the low S. Now, Hyperiotechnia, my favorite Insane Demon of all time. There's no competition at all, not even close. The early 2.1 deco really shows its age, but can you really blame people? The gameplay is so great, like, there's nothing better than it, nothing. I don't know how ML500 and their team of creators could make anything as good as this, but they did. Proud S+ to them. Zacharias. The best memory plus wave Insane Demon and one of the best wave Insanes overall. There's nothing better than a good 9 circles level, and this really shows. So it's a low S, just because there are also really great levels ahead of it. But yeah, now I see that I've missed some, so I'll just move on to them. Deadlock V2 by Dasher. It's not as good as Small. It really reeks of 2.0, but it wasn't as bad as people would think, so I'm putting it somewhere like in the mid to low B's, because that's actually alright. Now, Finger Dash V2 is pretty amazing, at least as a V2. Finger Dash V2 is alright, it's not that bad, it's somewhat decent, but I don't recommend doing it as a medium or hard demon, whatever it's rated right now, because I just don't really like it. It's alright, but it has lazy gameplay. Death Step has no value. It's just a generic Club Step remake, and that's just bad. It's a C tier. At least it has like some small amount of originality. Yeah. The Furious. It was alright. I really say it's just alright because it has very funky 2.0 deco, and the gameplay is also rather odd compared to other Insane Demons that I've seen over time, so I'll put it at somewhere like mid B. PG Club Step. I really remember not enjoying it, but it's not as bad as Rupture. Not even close. I didn't have that bad of a time. It was okay, but I really didn't like the memory, so I'll just put it at C. Now Double Dash. To simply put it, it's one of the best hard demons ever out there, and also one of my favorite levels, and maybe in like the top 5 favorites. So it's definitely going into the S+. Not as good as Hyperiotechnia though. No. Sedulous. It was okay. It's an okay level. The deco carries it by a lot, and I do mean a lot because the gameplay is just something you don't see in a lot of hard demons nowadays. So I'll just put it somewhere in like high B. Supersonic is not that good. It's at least a bit better than Poltergeist in terms of gameplay, but it's very buggy, it's unlikable, there are little redeeming qualities, and I just don't want people to do this ever. But in my personal experience, it wasn't necessarily really bad. Now we have Future Funk, which took me around 2,500 attempts. It took me a while as well, and my reaction was very cringe, and I do mean very because it was my loudest reaction ever. I think my aftermath reaction kind of outstands it right now, but it was so loud and unexpected. I told myself so many times to not react there, but I did. So yeah, it's a B tier level. Now 9 circles. It's memorable because it's the first 9 circles level ever. That's where the name comes from, you know. It was one of my first hard demons on PC, which I somewhat enjoyed, except for dying at the last cube once. At least I didn't die to like the 90s, which I was happy about, so I'm putting it in the low A. Now for the extremes. Akio is a solid masterpiece, which I really love by Naichu. The deco is, of course, not really loved, and I can understand where people are coming from, but it's a great level with amazing gameplay that syncs well and has a great flow, so I'm putting it at a high S. Now for something like Thanatophobia, I really don't like it in terms of gameplay, and I think it could be improved on, especially when it's supposed to be fixed and not made into even more bugs. It would be at F tier if it wasn't for the deco that actually stands out and is really great. So I'm putting it at D currently. We'll see how it goes. Now Skytech. Now if Skytech wasn't as good, I wouldn't have started AirTech, which is a remake of it, by the way, which I'm hosting. Skytech is just something that reminds me of how good early 2.1 was. It's so great. Even though it's cluttered as hell, it gives detail. It gives something that you don't see in a lot of levels. So props to Givron and Licentious for this. So yeah, it's somewhere, not maybe in the S, but like a high A. Just because I don't think it's as good as these 6 levels. So yeah. Napalm. Genuinely one of the best levels in the game. Not as good as Aronia or something like Hyperiotechnia, but it's definitely very solid. Better than Double Dash. And S+, definitely. Aftermath. Well, saying that I have less than 20 fails past 57 would be a lie. Having around 50 fails past 57 is like a genuine shock to see, because I've never had that many fails on a level. And it's just incredible that I could beat it under 10k, and I'm really proud of myself, so yeah. It's great. But it's not as good as Skytech, of course, so I'll put it somewhere in like the mid to low A's. And I'll probably move Layak higher because it deserves more. Now for Glide, it's really great. It's not as great as Aki, of course, but Chrome gameplay is Chrome gameplay, and you gotta love it nonetheless. So it's a definite S tier. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time on the next video. Bye.